for another day of the week. Welcome to the Monday edition. Chasing that paper, presented by VegasInsider.com, and it is a new week, a new month here. We got a jam-packed show planned for you guys today. Of course, we're going to be all over this national championship game. 4 different picks for Major League Baseball, favorite puck pick, our Masters betting preview, and we're also going to weigh in on this WWE UFC merger. Big news in the world of sports business here. Before we get into all that, before I bring my guest on as well, guys, do me a favor. Like button right down there. There's a subscribe button right down there. Give each of those a click. Let us know that you like the show. All right, so let's bring on my guy here, Mr. New York City, Mr. Manhattan, senior editor over at BetSided. He's off to the golf course after the show here. Ian, how goes it? Are you ready for Masters Week?
Yes, I am. Doesn't it look like I'm ready for Masters Week? I'm actually not going to the golf course today, but it's Masters Monday. And on Masters Monday, I sit and I work in my golf outfit. So I got my golf shirt on, a nice pink shirt at the bottom. I got my Bethpage Black Ryder Cup hat on. I'm ready to go. Boy. It's Masters Week. It's one of the best weeks of the year.
Indeed, indeed. Ian, did you catch the fights last night?
The fights last night?
No,
what fights for last night?
WrestleMania, man. Come on.
Oh, no. Absolutely did not. Was Rey Mysterio there?
Wrestling? You seem to mock wrestling.
No, I don't mock wrestling. People who I get why people like it, but it's just not for me. I just can't care.
That's fair.
Don't care.
That's fair. I grew up on it, so there's the sentimentality there. So we're going to talk a little WWE at the tail end of the show, but we got a lot to get into here. Pretty big basketball game here tonight. So let's get right into the action here. Ian has a pair of picks for tonight's national championship game. So Ian, first off, tell us who's covering the spread tonight.
Yeah, it should come to absolutely no surprise for people who have been watching the show who I'll be backing on. This is a game between a team that I have bet on and won on in every one of their games this NCAA tournament against a team that I've bet against and lost in every one of their games this NCAA tournament. So I'm not going to waver from my strategy. I will stick with my UConn Huskies, who are 7.5-point favorites tonight. I'm holding a 25-1 ticket on the Huskies to win the tournament. I'm not hedging. I will not hedge. In fact, I'm doubling downing on UConn to win and cover again tonight. Go! I keep saying it about San Diego State. They can't shoot the basketball. 218th in effective field goal percentage. They were lucky to get out of that game against FAU. They cannot shoot that poorly against this UConn team and expect to win. And the biggest difference in this game between UConn and the other opponents that San Diego State has had to play is this is the first opponent where they actually get outranked defensively. They have won based on their defense this entire tournament, but now they have to take on a UConn team that outranks them in both opponent effective field goal percentage and defensive efficiency. The Huskies tonight are looking to become the second team ever in the NCAA tournament to win all tournament games by 10-plus points. They have done that up to this point. They have proven to be the best team. They're great offensively. They're fantastic defensively. They can rebound, which is going to be huge because a big part of San Diego State's success has been offensive rebounding and creating second-chance scoring opportunities. They will not be able to do that tonight. Give me the Huskies, minus 7.5.
The Huskies, okay. Player prop time. What's your favorite player prop of the game, Ian?
Yeah, a little player prop this one. Maybe not a lot of you are going to be able to bet on this one because some states you actually can't bet player props. But if you're lucky enough to be in a state where you can bet player props or in the country of Canada, I will suggest to bet on Adama Sanogo over 15.5 points.
Oh.
He has been on fire this NCAA tournament. He's averaging 20.2 points per game in the tournament. That's well over his set total for tonight's game. But the biggest reason why I like this bet is that he can attack San Diego State's interior defense. San Diego State has one of the best perimeter defenses in the country. They're very good at stopping opponents' three-point shots, but they're 147th in opponent 2-point field goal percentage. So Adamas Sanogo should be able to do exactly what he did against producer Tito's Miami Hurricanes in the Final Four, and that's rack up plenty of points, especially in the mid-range. Also, a big thing we got to keep an eye on when you bet on player props in college basketball is fouls, because it's not completely unheard of, even somewhat common, for players to get a couple of fouls early in the game. They then need to get sat on the bench so they don't get fouled out. You can only have 5 in college basketball before you're kicked out of the game. But thankfully, Adamas Sanogo has limited his fouls. In fact, he hasn't had more than 2 fouls in a game all tournament. He's averaging 2.8 per season, so he's actually lowered that number into the tournament. So I don't expect him to get into foul trouble tonight, which is huge because we need points. We need him to stay on the court. We need him to score points. I'll take Adamas Sanogo over 15.5 points.
All right, over to me, where we go over to the diamond for 4 picks. Let's start ripping through these. Some late afternoon action. We get the White Sox and San Francisco Giants getting after it. Player prop for this one, Michael Kopech on the bump for the Shit Sox. I'm going to take him to go under his strikeout total of 5.5. Steal of the day. Some early season value because Kopech, not a big strikeout guy. He topped this number of 5.5 in just 6 of 25 starts in 2022, and just 3 of 13 at home. He also got destroyed in spring training, where he posted a 7.11 ERA, and he didn't throw more than 50 pitches in a game, so he might not be around for very long in this one. Expect some improved plate discipline here for the Giants. They ran into a buzzsaw on the Yankees the opening weekend of the season. They come into this game with the highest strikeout percentage through the first handful of games, but that 37.3 K percentage, simply unsustainable. This is a team that walked a lot in 2022, so expect the whiffs to be down as they look to work the count versus Kopech, who has serious control issues. Kopech under 5.5 strikeouts. Next up, Phillies versus the Yankees, and I'm going to take the Yankees' first 5 run line coming in with odds of -115. Nasty Nestor Cortez on the bump here for the Yankees. He was an absolute beast at home last season. A 1.95 ERA during the regular season at Yankee Stadium in 2022. 1 total earned run allowed across his last 2 starts in spring as well. So he's coming in pretty good form here. Taijuan Walker on the man here for the Phillies, and some serious red flags for him in spring training. His velocity was down significantly. It was also a little wild. Tough test for him being thrown to the fire at Yankee Stadium versus one of the best offenses in the league. Aaron Judge has absolutely owned Walker. 11 at-bats against him. 4 home runs. Yankees hitters combined for an 847 OPS against Walker and 118 at-bats. Yankees, first run line -115. Okay, next up, I know why all you guys are here. For walk props, right? And it is the first walk prop on Chasing That Paper this season. We will be targeting James Caprillion. Going to take him to go over 1.5 walks, coming in at -110. A sky-high walk rate for this guy in 2022, the 9th highest out of 124 starters who threw at least 100 innings, the highest in all of Major League Baseball among starters at home who threw at least 50 innings on their home field. He did average 2.26 walks per start last season. Control remained an issue for him in spring with 9 walks in his 4 appearances. That's pretty bad considering he only topped 50 pitches in one of those games, and lots of free passes for the Guardians here so far. Only a handful of games, of course, but the 4th most walks so far this season. Give me Caprillion over 1.5 walks -110. And we're going to wrap things up here in beautiful Los Angeles. Dodgers playing host to the Rockies. Another F5 bet. Give me the over 4.5 runs for this one. This is a pretty ugly-looking starting pitching matchup. No offense to either starter, of course. Ryan Feltner on the man here for the Rockies. This guy got lit up a lot in 2022. A 5.83 ERA last season. 5.73 on the road, so it just wasn't a Coors Field thing. 4 or more earned runs across 9 different occasions for Feltner. For what it's worth, LA led the league in OPS versus righties last season. So they rake versus righties. Michael Grove on the man here for the Dodgers. Do we have any Michael Grove fans watching the show today? Michael Grove only on the mound because of injuries. He was optioned to AAA last week, but is up to start due to LA's rotation being beat to shit. Interestingly enough, in his last MLB appearance on October 1st of last season, Colorado got 4 across against him in 5 innings of work. Give me the first 5 over between the Rockies and the Dodgers. All right, Ian, bring it home. Your favorite pick on the ice here tonight. What are we looking at?
Yeah, short NHL slate tonight, only 3 games, but there's a total bet that I like that jumped off the page for me. It is the Minnesota Wild against the Vegas Golden Knights. I like the over 5.5 here, coming in at -120. Both these teams have been hot in the shooting department as of late. 3rd and 6th in shooting percentage over their last 10 games, and that's going to match up well because both teams have been bad defensively, especially the Wild, uncharacteristically bad in their own end over their last 10 games. These two teams are 21st and 26th in expected goals against per 60 minutes over that stretch. Now, you might say, but Ian, these two teams just played against each other on Saturday, and the final score was 4-1, the under hit. Yeah, but I would encourage you to look past the score in that matchup because there are 73 total shots taken in that game. So despite the total going under, that is plenty of offense. If we see 73 shots in the game again tonight, I bet you we're going to go over 5.5. So give me the Golden Knights Wild over 5.5 at -120 tonight.
The Knights, yeah, I like that one too, Ian. Okay, guys. A lot of people watching live right now. A lot of people going to be watching the replay later. Hit up that live chat if you're there right now, or if you're watching the replay, drop your best bets of the night in the comment section below. Okay, guys, if you're looking to get some action in tonight, maybe tail some of our bets, maybe fade some of them. Paid me last week, you did pretty good. Hopefully that won't be the case here this week, but I recommend placing your action over at BetMGM. Let me tell you a little bit about them, the king of sportsbooks. It's never been easier to bet with confidence. That's because the king of sportsbooks is giving you a can't-miss first bet offer with up to $1,000 payback in bonus bets. Sign up with BetMGM using the promo code VIBONUS. Get a first bet offer up to $1,000 payback in bonus bets. If you don't win, that's VIBONUS, all one word, no spaces. For a first bet offer of $1,000 paid back in bonus bets. If you don't win, just use that code VIBONUS. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older to wager. Offers for new customers only. BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Yeah. Indeed. So, yeah, we touched on it off the top, but a pretty big golf tournament here starting on Thursday. The Masters, would you fair to say the Super Bowl of golf, Ian?
I would say so. I mean, people would have different opinions. People would rank their majors in different orders, but I think for most people, Masters is the top one for sure.
I call it the Daytona 500 of golf. That's what I refer to.
I think that's probably better comparison.
Yeah. Okay. There you have it. Yeah. So let's take a look at the odds board here coming into the Masters. These odds will, of course, probably change a little bit before golfers tee off on Thursday. But Tito, if you want to throw up that graphic with the odds, we would appreciate it greatly. Give me 1 second, he's saying.
Tito, you've been pretty sharp for a week, Tito. This is minus points
right.
here.
Let's take a look. Surprised to see Rory McIlroy. I don't follow golf at the level Ian does, obviously. He's lives and breathes it. But Rory and Scotty Scheffler on top, plus 700. Should I be surprised to see Rory there at 7-1, Ian? Because I am.
Yeah, he's a little bit overvalued. He kind of typically always is a little bit overvalued from a betting standpoint because he's such a popular golfer, but he especially is at the Masters because if he wins the Masters, he'll complete the career Grand Slam. So people love to bet on him because they want to see him complete the career Grand Slam. But yeah, I think Rory's a little bit overvalued as in this tournament based on his play as of late.
Okay, so right behind them we have John Rahm. Then there's a big dip here, a little bit of a gap. Spieth, Cameron Smith, Justin Thomas's the world. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of familiar names. My guy, Tony Finau, I got him at 28-1. He's 25-1 here. with these odds over at BetMGM. And, of course, the name that every person in the world, every living, breathing person knows, Tiger Woods, sitting there at 66 to 1. So we touched on Rory there, Ian, but what stands out to you here? Who's overvalued, who's undervalued?
Yeah, a big storyline for this week is how the live golfers will compete at the Masters. Overvalued, I think Cameron Smith right there at 20 to 1, fifth on the odds list. Yes, he is the defending Open champion. But Cameron Smith in the 3 live events this year has gone T5, T24, T26. If you're not dominating live golf, I cannot be betting on you at the Masters. Now, maybe he just has not tried to live events, but I think it's going to be very difficult for golfers to go from competing at live events against not good competition and what are 3-round tournaments. There's music playing. It's a weird vibe. It doesn't really feel like it's serious to then all of a sudden competing at the Masters. That's a big jump. So I would not be betting on Cameron Smith at 20 to 1. I would not be betting on Dustin Johnson at 25 to 1. In fact, I might be betting on a handful of live golfers to miss the cut. I think that might be an interesting play this week as well.
Have it, Ian, noted live golf hater. Okay, so before we get into your official picks, what about Tiger Woods? Do you think he can make any noise here at all? Maybe make a top 20 run in the tournament this weekend?
Yeah, I'm probably going to bet on Tiger to make the cut, depending on what the odds are. The make cut, miss cut odds
aren't released
yet. Usually that's... Yeah, it's probably going to be like
BetMGM has them up. They're right around minus 190. Yeah. Yeah.
I might bet on that. If you want to get aggressive with Tiger, a top 20 bet would probably be the way I'd go. The issue with Tiger Woods is that he looks great on Thursday and Friday, but his leg acts up on him by the time he gets to the weekend. That's a lot of golf to be playing that many days in a row now. Or a couple months ago at the Genesis Invitational, he did look better than he did last year, but still by the time Sunday came around, that leg he was hobbling on it and did not shoot well on Sunday. So that scares me away from any tournament long bets. I might look to bet him in a couple matchup bets on Thursday and Friday, though.
Okay, so let's get into some official picks here, Ian. I'm sure you're picking a few outrights, but who's your favorite outright bet to win the 2023 Masters?
Yeah, my favorite outright bet. I've made it a yearly tradition. I've bet on him the last 4 or 5 years at the Masters. He has come second place once, third place another time. He continues to break my heart on Sunday, and I imagine he's going to do it again. But if he ever does win the Masters, and I think he will, I will be betting on him. So give me Xander Schauffele as my favorite bet to win the Masters. And it's not just because it's a yearly tradition. There's a lot of things that are pointing towards this being his year to win the Masters. Number one, his form is trending in the right direction. His last 3 starts, he's gone T39, T19, and then T5. So if you're looking at recent form, he is trending in the right direction and seems to be peaking at the perfect time. One thing you got to look at when betting on the Masters is distances from 150 to 200 yards. It's a lot of mid-irons and a lot of long irons into these greens at Augusta National. Well, Xander Schauffele ranks first on the PGA Tour in the 150 to 175 yard distance. At 25-yard distance, he leads in proximity to the hole. That's going to be huge at Augusta National. And as I mentioned, he has already competed well here in the past, T2 in 2019, T3 in 2021. So he's proven he can play well at Augusta. He just needs to get over the hump and finally win it. So give me Xander Schauffele to put on the green jacket, 24 to 1.
Xander Schauffele. Okay, so a lot of casual bettors looking to get maybe $10, $20 down on a bit of a long shot here. You know, it's not rare to see a long shot win this thing. So who is a long shot that you'll be targeting here this weekend?
Yes, my long shot bet to win is a guy who made a lot of noise a few months ago. Then he got a little bit overvalued on the betting market. And then after a stretch of pretty average play, he's now kind of undervalued again. A little bit of a roller coaster with his odds as of late. But it is the young gun, Tom Kim from South Korea. You can get him all the way up to 80 to 1. That's right. Now, like I said, a couple things going against him, and it's why his odds are pretty long. Number one, he is a rookie at the Masters. He's never competed at the Masters before, and people generally think you have to have a lot of experience to win at the Masters. And he's also not in great form. He hasn't finished inside the top 30 since the American Express a couple of months ago. But he has things going in his direction. Number one, third in bogey avoidance. Augusta National, obviously a very difficult golf course. It's not even necessarily about getting a ton of birdies. It's about saving par and avoiding bogeys, and he's third on tour in that stat. He's also 19th in strokes gained approach, which is the other important stat you want to look at. You got to be good with your irons. You got to get it close to the hole. And like I said, he is a Masters rookie that is working against him, but Will Zalatoris proved a couple of years ago that rookies at the Masters can still compete and potentially win. Zalatoris finished second here as a rookie just a couple of seasons ago. And if there's a first-time Augusta competitor that can win it this year, it's got to be Tom Kim. Give me the young gun, Tom Kim. 80-1. Pretty good odds there.
Tommy Kim. Okay. Who's going to get off to a fast start here? A first-round bet that you like.
Yeah, first-round bets are always a little bit of a crapshoot. Anyone can be leading after the first round, but I don't normally like to bet first-round leaders, but I do at the majors just because they're fun. So my favorite pick to finish, to be leading after Thursday, is another South Korean golfer, Sung Jae Im. You can get him at around 33-1 to be the first-round leader at Augusta. He has no weak areas. This is a guy who ranks inside the top 63 in all of the major areas. He's accurate off the tee. He's pretty solid with his irons. He's great around the greens, which is huge at Augusta. He can putt well. He has no weaknesses that are going to really hurt him. This is also a guy who has proven that he can have success at Augusta National. He has a T2 finish previously and a T8 finish, so he can get it done here. And also the main reason why I like him is he seems to thrive in the opening round, 6th on the PGA Tour heading into this event in first round scoring average. So I'll take Sung Jae Im, 33-1 to be the first round leader.
I believe, is he also South Korean?
He is.
Ian loves his South Korean golf. And you know what?
I do.
So do I. So you go get down on maybe a lot of these sports books have what nationality will win.
Ooh.
Masters. You know, a lot of the American fans will want to take an American golfer. South Korea. I'd be interested to see what odds they're offering after. Ian gave out a couple of
Kim would be in the mix as well. I wouldn't be shocked to see Siwoo Kim win. So you got a few options there. So I kind of like that.
3 big names. Okay, we thank you, Ian. That's our 2023 CTP Masters betting preview. Now it's time to tell you guys a little bit about the Vegas Insider app. It gives you all the major sports betting odds at your fingertips, along with expert breakdowns and picks. If you want more Vegas Insider content like our shows, videos, and podcasts, you can find it all on the app in the media section. Download the Vegas Insider app on Apple or Android. Bet better with the Vegas Insider app. Yeah, baby. Woo! All right, we actually put up a Masters-related poll on the Vegas Insider Twitter feed here this morning, asking you guys among the top 4 favorites, who's offering the best value? John Rahm coming out ahead of the 2 favorites here. Spieth, I think a lot of people attracted to that 18-1 number. Now, Ian, the question I always ask you, regardless of the sport, if I give you $1,000 and say you have to put it on one of these golfers, who you throwing down on?
Yeah, I am actually betting on one of these golfers. I didn't give it out on the show, but I am on Scotty Scheffler as well. I think he goes back-to-back here. He's actually entering this tournament in better form than he was entering in last year. He's still playing very well. He's very good around the greens and good with his approach, the 2 most important areas. And John Rahm has faltered. He's actually entering the tournament not in good form at all. I think he's kind of dipping at the wrong time. Jordan Spieth can't be trusted to play well 4 straight rounds. So by far, if you gave me a free $1,000 bet, I would certainly put it on Scotty Scheffler. I wouldn't even think twice.
All right, some news out of the sports business world that I want to weigh in on. So many of us have been following the pending sale of the WWE. That's been in the news for a couple months now. And it came out this morning. The sale is official. The WWE has sold to Endeavor, the parent company of the UFC. The UFC and WWE will be merging into the same company, a publicly traded company. So pretty interesting news there. And a lot of people are wondering, what this means for both companies. Well, obviously, it's going to be a win-win for each of these companies. Hopefully, it's a win-win for fans as well. We're not paying more for pay-per-views, but in my uneducated opinion, at the early onset, at least, I don't think that this is going to be anything extremely exciting for fans of either sport. Don't be silly. Roman Reigns isn't showing up in the UFC, although I think maybe it does open the door for one last fight for Brock Lesnar in the UFC. But it's going to be interesting to see how this happens because we talk about these sports TV rights deals all the time. The UFC's is coming up with ESPN. So you got to assume that the UFC and the WWE, they're going to have some type of a package deal for one of these streaming companies. You got to expect Amazon and Apple to be in on the bidding for that. But ultimately, I think Disney is going to win out. Disney has the rights to the UFC right now with ESPN, so don't be surprised to see UFC and WWE both be under the ESPN umbrella. It's a little unusual when you see WWE coverage on ESPN. Stephen A. Smith had some stuff this week. It's kind of unusual how they cover it. They kind of cover it as if it's real, and they don't lean into the fact that it's stories and stuff. But that's kind of besides the point. But I think the UFC is going to be a major winner here. And the UFC is only going to get bigger by partnering up with the WWE here in terms of merchandising, which they don't seem to do very well right now. Also in terms of promoting their stars. Nobody does that better than the WWE. The UFC is in a bit of a different position because they promote these stars, and if that star loses or gets their ass kicked, they're not that much of a star anymore, whereas the WWE can just pick whoever wins and loses. And I think you're going to see the UFC do a lot bigger shows, too. Now, they always pack these basketball and hockey arenas, but if anyone watched WrestleMania, it was at SoFi Stadium. They sold out 2 nights in a row. They were at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. They were at they go to Saudi Arabia and do big stadium deals there. But the UFC, the only time they've ever done a massive show like that, at least that I can recall, is when they went to Rogers Center, Skydome in Toronto, where GSP headlined once upon a time. So maybe you see the UFC for the big July events, UFC 300's right around the corner. Don't be surprised to see if they end up at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, maybe Dallas Cowboys Stadium, maybe SoFi again. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Win-win for both companies. Like I said, hopefully a win for us fans as well. Okay, guys, let's tell you a little bit about today's Handicapper Heat Check presented by VegasInsider.com, your home for today for the best expert picks in the business since 1997. Today's featured expert is Gary Bart, who went 3-0 in MLB on Sunday and is on a 5-1 college hoops win streak. Vince Aikens off to a good start on the diamond, 4-0 this season. Kyle Hunter closing out college hoops season on a 13-4 run. Visit VegasInsider.com/picks for tonight's NCAA championship winners and more. That's your Handicapper Heat Check. Stay hot, bettors. I see Jeff Too Hottie asking, who will knock off Roman Reigns in the live chat? I have no idea. I don't follow it like I used to, so I don't have any bold predictions for that. I know he's been champion for like 3 years now. Everyone thought he was going to get knocked off last night. Now, some sports books actually post odds for WrestleMania. I think Cody Rhodes was around -400. Everyone expected Roman Reigns to lose last night, but he didn't. So, usually significant limits on those $50 max bets. So maybe not a whole lot of money to be made if you're on Roman Reigns to win last night. Okay, Ian, so tell us what you have going on over at BetSide and with your podcast that CTP viewers can check out.
Yes, my full breakdown of the Masters is the Bacon Bets podcast version of that is out now. If you like my picks or if you want to hear more, check that out because I give my thoughts on the top 20 golfers on the odds list. I also talk about my other best bets, my other outrights that I have. So a lot more Masters stuff available over on the Bacon Bets podcast. And also you can check out my written work on fansided.com.
Fansided.com, baby. Okay, Ian's going to be back with us on Wednesday of this week. We're going to have our preview for the big UFC pay-per-view going down in Miami here this weekend. I'm going to be flying solo tomorrow. Big schedule in the NBA, of course, Major League Baseball and NHL as well. Kevin Rogers will be with me on Thursday of this week, and I believe Ian will be back with me on Friday of this week. So a jam-packed week here at Chasing That Paper. We thank you very much for watching. We thank Ian for joining. We thank Tito for producing. Best of luck with your bets tonight, unless, of course, you are fading us. And as always, keep chasing that paper. Woo! Yeah!